and then realized I couldn't stifle it, was going to look crazy when I went on air. So I just said, go ahead and take me on air laughing. It'd be the only way to explain either why I didn't make it on air or why I had tears in my eyes when they went live, because it was so funny. It says, oh, the evil of the Denver airport. And then it cuts to an old lady who's a greeter with brochures there in a cowboy hat saying, hi, welcome to Denver International Airport. And then she turns into like a reptoid vampire. And that just set me off. And some of the other scenes. I haven't even watched all this yet. This piece from the Colbert Report. We're not going to play it all because it gets into, making fun of conspiracy theorists. Or, oh, look, there's obelisk at the airport. Yeah, and the god Anubis and all this Egyptian stuff there, at least last time I was there. And, we do point out that it's phallic symbols of the male god and that domes are the breast of the female, the god and the goddess. I mean, this is all admitted. We have a Mithra cult basically running things. I had History Channel here just last week taping 5 episodes of what's the name of the show? I won't even give the name of the show until it comes out. The point is that this is real. But what they do in this piece, at least the first couple minutes I watched, I didn't have time to watch the whole thing. We're going to watch it now together and analyze it and critique it as fair use, is looking at it. It's like 2012, end of the world. And then they cut to Jesse Ventura, myself, and others, and imply that we're saying there's an end of the world. Or if we talk about Illuminati iconography and symbolism and archetypes, we're saying it's the end of the world. And guaranteed, when 2012 comes and goes, I'm tempted just to churn a film out, because I started one and then never released it on 2012 and how it's a hoax. Because it's such a deception. It's such a scam. It's going to come, it's going to go, but things are going to be crazy because the globalists have timed it all out. They have done the whole 2012 hoax because they know a lot of people are agnostics or atheists, but they want you to have the same false Christian doctrine that it's the end of the world every week, so nobody ever gets politically involved or fights corruption. Oh, it's the rapture next week, why should I care? That cop-out. Well, even if it is, it's still your duty to expose corruption. I hear mainline Christians, oh, praise God, the government wants to put microchips in it. That means Jesus will soon return. My Bible says you go through the tribulation, God defeats the devil, the archangel ties up the devil in the chains, and then the people are raised from the dead. But whatever. Regardless, let's not even get into religion here. The point is they want a secular version of it's the end of the world, why be involved? And that's what the whole fake New Age 2012 thing is. The Mayans thought that the world was on the back of an alligator or a crocodile. The Mayans said that a new hearth is lit at 2012. The Mayans hadn't invented the wheel. They were certainly interesting and took a lot of hallucinogens and tortured themselves while they did, and human sacrifice. Again, it's all just Timothy Leary-esque New World Order stuff from the 60s and 70s, kind of a missionariate, protectorate, foregone conclusion, self-fulfilling prophecy that you can't do anything, it's the end of the world. And that's what 2012 is a big cop-out. But there's going to be the added fraud of that I am then going to be blamed when it doesn't end. Okay, I've never said it's the end of the world. I've never said that's going to happen. They could release a bioweapon, a nanotech system. They could have a nuclear war and end our civilization. That could happen. CERN could do something, but that's not being discussed. It's all end of the world, self-fulfilling, and it is the end of the world as we know it. The world government's forming. The age of Aquarius, the Illuminati, it's all happening. The overthrow of the system that Newt Gingrich talks about, it's here. And so they just mix it in there that you're all a bunch of crazies who think old women are reptoid lizards if you question it. And so I'm going to play parts of it and then stop it and start it and analyze it here right now because it's very informative to, again, learn their different tricks of propaganda. Here it is from last night. They don't show you any of the serious murals or they don't show you the serious pyramids and Anubis and obelisks. They just make fun of everybody and have the lady turn into a creature. So again, America, long may she wave. The globalists are killing America. They are killing the private property, Bill of Rights, Constitution. But see, they're implying that, oh, these people say America's dead, how dare them. That's why that old guy at the Grand Canyon, when I was pointing out the UN sign, got real mad and told me to basically shut up. He didn't like hearing about it. You see, I'm the one hurting America, actually pointing out that the banks are taking it over through fraud. So we've just seen the old woman turn into a goblin. Now let's go to the next clip.
Denver.
Hit pause. Now, Colorado is the designated backup for Congress after Camp David. There's giant underground bases all over the place publicly there. Cheyenne Mountain's there. Northcom is based there. They've had giant building equipment. And I've talked to some of the construction people who won't come on air, of course, but they've been on record here on the show disguising their voices years ago. That, yeah, there's underground stuff. They use different crews. The dirt piles up and is hauled away. It's a giant facility. There's COG bases all over the place. And they just make a big joke out of it. And it's got weird murals of like Nazis chopping up children and stuff, and weird Masonic stuff, and weird pyramids and obelisks. But see, we're the nuts for talking about it. Let's continue.
All of these theories on Denver.
Again, it's on record that they're training the military, particularly in Colorado, to take on the American people, to suspend Congress under Bush's executive order that Obama continued to do all of this. To admittedly, I've seen it in the Rocky Mountain News before they went bankrupt, and the Denver Post, that they bought a bunch of multi-million-dollar incinerators for during plagues. They've got giant federal processing center in Oklahoma where they fly prisoners from all over the country. They've got all sorts of weird drills that go on in Denver and at the airport for mass arrest. This is all admitted. I have articles today about them listing protesters as terrorists. And Mobile sells all of this, but we're all just crazy kooks. You know, they point at a men's bathroom sign and say, and there's signs. You know what? There's a big deal at Denver Airport because people know what's going on there. And they know what's going on at Colorado Springs, 30, 40 miles down the road. There are underground bases. It's on record. Let's go back to the clip.
No.
Pause. While they talk about aliens and they cut to me, I don't talk about aliens, and everybody knows that. They put the camera on me, Alex Jones, and say aliens. And then they cut to this guy who says that there's phallic symbols and then don't show you what he's talking about. They've got obelisks all over the stinking thing. They've got giant 60-foot Egyptian gods. I shot video of it when I flew out to Hardin, Montana. Go ahead and finish the part about the phallic symbols. Here it is.
In our face. All
right, that's enough. That's enough. And it is true. The globalists are nuts. Reporting on what they do is crazy. I mean, what do you think the Washington Monument is? On record, it's George Washington's. It's incredible. We'll be right back. Stay with us. Oh, man, what a hit piece. By the way, I don't talk about UFOs, so they're trying to discredit us. We'll be right back. All right, it's the final segment. I didn't get to the Bruce Fine video. I'll just have Kurt Nimmo posted at Infowars.com, and I'll try to play it tomorrow. We got some big guests coming up in the week. I'll just leave it at that. I got some really bad news here. Reuters reports that in San Antonio, Texas, that's just south of me, woman denied food stamps, kills herself, shoots children. Now, roughly 7 million people were reported to have starved to death or died of complications from malnutrition during the 10 years of the Great Depression. Major university studies show. You can look them up. That's when 90% of the public was somewhat self-sufficient and rural or had rural self-sufficiency skills. Now those numbers are flipped. Right at 90%, some studies show 91, are urban and don't know how to basically tie their own shoelaces. Now, when society collapses, and it's designed to, that's the globalist stated goal. Things aren't going to get better with Newt Gingrich because he doesn't want them to get better, or with Al Gore, or with any of these criminals, or with Obama. That's what I keep explaining to people. Government isn't idiots. They're not morons. They know what they're doing. They want to totally collapse our society so they can come back as the saviors and re-engineer it. That's how they plan to finally get the guns. Ask yourself, how would tyrants take over? How they're doing it. And they do this incrementally, testing every stage of it to make sure that they've got everybody properly brainwashed. A woman in the border city of Laredo, Texas, the article's out of San Antonio, who was angry because she had been denied food stamps, killed herself, and shot and critically wounded her 2 children. What a scumbag. She should have given the children to family. 38-year-old woman entered the Texas Health and Human Services Commission office in downtown Laredo on Monday afternoon and demanded to speak to a supervisor. An investigator, Joe Bazia of the Laredo Police Department, said. And it just goes on that she shot herself and the children. But don't worry, a SWAT team managed to evacuate the people. I love these articles where when somebody's attacking something, they lock it down so you can't get out. The Greeks are taking their money out of the banks. It's already starting here. I mean, this is not going to be pretty. We're in a depression, but the media keeps telling you everything's fine. Now, here's the even bigger news. China's WHO urges Navy to prepare for combat. This just came out minutes ago. What was Wayne Madsen talking about? The so-called U.S. military, that's the occupied U.S. military, the globalist-controlled, hijacked military, is starting to circle around China and trying to cut off their oil in Iran. And you're like, why do they want to do that? Why do these people always, different empires, start wars? That's why they're an empire. And you're going to pay for it, I'm going to pay for it, in rights and money and our good name, unless we get control of our government again. But the government list trying to get control of your government is some type of terrorist action when it couldn't be more American. Chinese President Hu Jintao today urged the Navy to prepare for military combat amid growing regional tensions over maritime disputes and a U.S. campaign to assert itself as a Pacific power. Yeah, U.S. campaign. Moving military bases into Aussie land. The Navy should accelerate its transformation and modernization in a sturdy way and make extended preparations for military combat in order to make greater contributions to safeguard national security. That is the Communist Party. Addressing the powerful Central Military Commission, he said, it just goes on. Prepare for war with the U.S., but the TSA is busy grabbing our genitals. See you back tonight, 7 o'clock.
Thank you for listening
Prisonplanet.tv. Get the video, the film, A Noble Lie at Infowars.com. They're going quick. Attention, shop.